Hello and welcome to Down in Merthyr Television, our special video cast on the 70th anniversary coming up right now of our very famous cup win in '46 against Bristol Rovers, probably still our biggest giant killing act in the FA Cup. And I'm joined by Mr. Ken Tucker, player, manager, secretary, did everything at the football club, Hall of Famer. So he was at the game and we'll go through his memories of that match and that era. So Ken, 1946, what a time for Merthyr Football Club.
Yes.
What a team.
Yes, probably the greatest time ever for Merthyr Football Club regards crowds. You say for the Bristol Rovers, a match which I was there with my father, as a matter of fact, and there was 15,500 there packed in. A tremendous game, and of course they won 3-1, which is added to a great day for Merthyr. People celebrating the town at night, children having half day off from school. It was like carnival time in Merthyr at that time. And then, of course, we progressed afterwards to the next round and played Redden at home. Unfortunately, we lost 3-1, but we played very well. But with 19,500, the biggest gate Merthyr ever had. And tremendous time. Tremendous time.
That's some great players at that time as well. We've got some photographs here that we've taken on board for the club. And some great players. I mean, these are some of the iconic footballers.
Oh yes, without any doubt. In fact, the centre forward, Bill Hallett, and his name is famous in Merthyr. Goal scorer, tremendous goal scorer. If he didn't score, did Hallett score today? If he didn't score, they were wondering what was wrong with him. But a tremendous player. And we had people like Jenkin Powell his name was, but known by everybody as Shink. And he was a tremendous left winger, local boy, and he was just one of the stars of the future for Merthyr. And we had the whole team, quite honestly, shone with class. And I know it was hard to think about what football is now and what is then, but of course the game is totally different. Because the system in those days, they played 2 full-backs, 3 half-backs and 5 forwards. So the emphasis was on attack all the time. And of course, Merthyr were known for scoring goals, and that's what the crowd loved. That's why they turned up in numbers.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the game before, the game that they won was against Bath City, and they won that 7-1. So, I mean, goals were the order of the day in those days. And
without any doubt, Mark. And you say everybody went to see goals. If Hallett didn't get a hat-trick, they wondered what was wrong with him. And Jenkin Powell, if he didn't score a penalty, it is such a time in Merthyr, which everything was new just after the war. There wasn't a great deal around except the cinemas, no television in those days.
of course, yes.
And people flocked up and down Park. There's no doubt about that. It was a tremendous time for football in Merthyr.
Big crowds. I mean, facilities in the ground in those days?
None at all.
Bit more basic?
Basic, so basic. You had a tea chalet perhaps with 15,500 trying to get to, which is probably, you can imagine what happened then.
Yeah.
But that's all very basic. It was a Graham track. There was a Graham track around the ground.
Of course, yeah.
And, it was very difficult playing on that ground because not only was it the Graham track, but it was a tremendously difficult ground to play on. The drainage was terrible, and invariably it was full of mud. It was a very difficult ground to play on. Very difficult.
Let me see some of the photographs you have, especially the Bristol Rovers players, caked in mud. You know, and funny enough, all the Merthyr players seem to be pristine white, so they're obviously chasing shadows. They must have been. Some of the other players in the team, you mentioned
Yes,
the centre forwards, but you got Avery, Parsons.
Parsons, yes, a very good goalkeeper, a bit of a glamour boy, Dennis Parsons, and loved by the ladies. And he was transferred, because he was an excellent keeper, he was transferred to Aston Villa. And I think he did very well when he went there. We had Ralph Avery and Pugh, two tremendous fullbacks, very capable players. And Alan, if I remember rightly, was the centre half. He stayed in Merthyr after his playing career and worked in Kaiser Bonda, the hosiery factory in Merthyr, in Dowlais. Who else? George Chris played in the first match, if I remember rightly. He was a left wing of the Cardiff City before he joined Merthyr Tydfil. On the right wing for the Bristol Rovers, against Bristol Rovers, a boy called, I think, is Thomas, who was, after that game, he played so well, he was transferred to, I think it was either Exeter or Torquay, one of those two clubs.
Yeah, that's just remarkable program we have. It's very very fragile and everything. But one of the things I like about it is the fact the referee was Captain Howell of the Royal Artillery. So I don't suppose he took any trouble off the players.
Well, the best part about it really, there was in those days, there was a tremendous support, but there was always individual supporters. And there was a army recruiting office in Cleveland Street in Merthyr
Right, okay.
with Sergeant Major Cottrell.
Right.
And now he was known at Penarrow Park as the voice. Because when things went silent, he would chime up, "Come on, Merthyr Town." And you could hear him a mile away. And he was a bit of a character. And at every home game, the voice was there.
Oh, we could do them now, actually. Let's get some noise at the ground. Okay. I mean, so you were at this game with your dad?
Yes.
And then you came to the Reading game as
Yes,
well?
yes,
I mean,
both games.
Exciting times. What was the entry fee in those days?
Oh, God, I think it was sixpence or threepence, something like that. 3 pence or sixpence.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, the season end obviously went on further, and they did very well in the season as well.
Yes.
And that team went into the 50s team.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, but this was this is the starting point for those glory years.
That's right. This was the main starting point just after the war, and as I was to say, everything was new. The war for 6 years, and what it amounts to then really that people were looking for entertainment. And besides the cinema, this was the main entertainment in Merthyr.
Well, Merthyr's a football town.
Oh, without any doubt. I mean, it went bankrupt years ago under Merthyr Town, as you know,
Yeah,
really.
yes.
But even in those days, they were very good support of Merthyr. But marvellous days. These were marvellous days. These were, of course, and I doubt if they'll ever be recalled again, because it was a unique time, just after the war, as I say.
I mean, the football club now has to compete with many other sort of entertainment, the retail park in the town. So you're right. I mean, this is never going to happen again. But it's great that we can have the photographs and the programs, that we're still collecting these things in to make a bit of a display to remember these great days.
The shame of it is that this team didn't have the facilities you've got now, because these facilities are tremendous, quite honestly. I've seen a remarkable change in Merthyr Football Club's facilities over the last 50, 60 years, really. And now it's a really professional looking outfit. So it's a pleasure to come here.
That's great. So all we could do now is maybe next season then we'll have another cup run.
Well, I hope so.
And get the crowds back, because Merthyr football people love a cup run.
All love a cup run. They love the FA Cup and the Welsh Cup. Of course, when they used to enter that, but they love the FA Cup.
Okay, well, Ken, thanks for sharing your memories with us today. It's been a pleasure talking to you and looking at these wonderful memorabilia again. And fingers crossed we can do some more cup drinking.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Okay, thank you. Okay.